so the question I have for you today. Good morning. First of all, that's not my question. Is who are the Yankees going to do? Who are the Yankees going to fill these two empty bench spots with? Right? And are they going to fill them? Who am I referring to? Well, right now, Austin Wells is having a bunch of tests run. Right, David, what's happening, my man? Good morning. Austin Wells having a bunch of tests run. There's an assumption of some kind of circulatory problem in his hand that he said. He also had some hand pain since last year. So they're looking into that and running extensive tests, trying to figure out what's going on. But he's been not playing, which has left JC Escara with catching duties, with occasional catching duties bestowed upon Ben Rice, right? So, but that's an unproductive bench piece. Now, my question is, why hasn't he been put on the IL yet while they run a test? You can even make it retroactive. Do the shorter IL, the 10-day IL, make it retroactive to the day that he got hurt or whatever it might be, right? That way you can at least have somebody you can call up here and fill a spot if need be, right? Duran, what's going on? So, and the other player, Milton, what's going on? And the other player is Trent Grisham. You know, he pulled up lane with his hamstring, and generally, when it comes to outfielders with hamstring things, a short DL stint is a short IL stint is probably most effective. If you do that, I mean, they've already called up Brian De La Cruz yesterday. He was in the dugout, in the locker room, in the clubhouse, but they didn't put him on the active roster, so he couldn't play. Why not? Because they didn't officially put Trent Grisham on the IL, right? So why haven't they done that either? And if he's going to be the guy, then he's the guy. Or if they DFA him for a couple of days and then call up Everson Pereira, they do that. I don't know. But the fact is, there's two spots on the bench right now that are being wasted. You can't even call them up later on in the game, right? Graham. So, yeah. And this like, I'd rather talk about this than waste everybody's time blaming Anthony Volpe for everything, blaming Aaron Boone for everything, right? If I wanted to do clickbaity crap, I would just put videos. Get rid of Anthony Volpe, or should the Yankees get rid of Anthony Volpe, right? Or Boone, get rid of Boone, Boone. I'm not going to sit here and tell people what they want to hear for clicks. Okay, it's not what we're about here. This right here is a legitimate question. You know, why are these guys not on the IL, and why are there two other guys not in their spot right now to help the lineup? The Yankees are playing two men short on the bench, unfortunately, and their offense is sputtering right now. They could use a spark plug anywhere they can get it. They have injuries in the bullpen too. Fernando Cruz going on the IL again, right? But see, some of those other arms, like Luke Weaver's not looking sharp. Neither is Mark Leiter. The Yankees clearly need to add arms to the bullpen. And like I said, you know, thank the heavens. People might disagree with me. Thank the heavens we have Devin Williams. People hated him. They wanted him thrown into the alligator pit first 2 months of the season. But he's covering for Luke Weaver the way that Luke Weaver was covering for him in the first half of the season, first 2 months of the season, right? That's obvious. It's okay to admit it. So, George, Duran, Bob, could the betrayal be the word? I hope so. I really, really hope so, right? Now, but the fact is, who could be called up? I mean, as a prelude to a trade, probably this guy Brian De La Cruz, because they could DFA him and trade for somebody. Unless you want to showcase somebody like Everson Pereira to the outfield, then you call him up. And if he plays well, it makes it easier to trade him, right? So, and you call up somebody like Jesus Rodriguez maybe for catching duties and can also play third base, right? Because the fact is, right now, you know, we have one unproductive spot inside of second or third, depending on where Jazz Chisholm's not playing, right? If he's playing second, third base is generally unproductive. If he plays third, second base is generally unproductive, right? So it is. I don't have a problem with sending down Anthony Volpe, but who are you going to replace him with? And this is a question I ask, and nobody has the answers to. Okay? Right? I don't know what the deal is with Jesus Rodriguez. I mean, he's not raking like he was before. He's still hitting well, but he's not murdering the ball. But I mean, he could be give him some catching duties while Ben Rice can either alternate there and alternate at first base. He could pull Goldschmidt a day off here and there too. So Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They don't have the shortstop depth behind it. Like as much as people like to say, "Well, this is what happens when you don't sign Corey Seager." Okay, that's the talking point right now that people are running with. $325 million. Well, that's the thing too. What do you send down Volpe, you get to work on stuff, but who do you replace him with? We're not going to trade him to for Albies, or we're not going to trade him for an unproductive piece. You can move if you move Peraza to shortstop, you got to play him. But again, then that takes away your protection at third base, right? So what happens at that point, right? I don't know. Well, exactly too, Graham. Exactly. You send down Volpe. Could you replace him with Peraza if Peraza is very likely on his way out too? What's the and Correa's never going to happen. Never going to happen. That's a hard pass for that price and his injury history and the stink that he would bring to the Clemhouse chemistry. It's a hard pass for Correa. All due respect, it's not worth it. Peraza short is defensively a better option, yes, but the problem is he's trade bait, right? If you trade him, then who's gonna you know who's gonna replace him? So, and these are the two questions right now. And then who are the Yankees going to get in the bullpen? They have to get two arms in the bullpen. Okay, so no, Peraza is not a better hitter. He's a better fielder, but not a better hitter. Neither one of them is tearing the cover off the ball. Volpe's hitting the ball hard, but it's also finding the glove a lot, finding gloves in the ground in the outfield. So, okay, he leaves a lot to be desired defensively, sure. Yeah, LeMahieu. Well, he's aging. That's the problem. And the Yankees. Look, I'm glad the Yankees gave him a July 31st deadline. Okay, you have to produce, or you're probably gone. Okay, they didn't do that last year. So that's one reason. I mean, Aaron Judge and Anthony Rizzo stood up because Brian Cashman did try to DFA DJ LeMahieu last year, and Rizzo and Judge stood up and didn't let it happen. Okay, so. Yeah. So I do think DJ probably gets moved on from at the deadline, which is the same day as the trade deadline, July 31st, which, heightens the need for the Yankees to add an infielder, right? So, and that's the thing. What's the replacement piece? Is the replacement piece in-house? Is the replacement piece in a trade? And again, with the prices so high in the trade market because of being a seller's market, who's worth overpaying for right now? Especially if he's going to be free agent in 2 months. Why are you going to? I'm not giving Spencer Jones for someone's going to be a free agent for 2 months. Like some of these insane trade proposals right now. Insane. Yeah, exactly. Nobody's worth overpaying for. That's available. If Brendan Donovan was available, I'd overpay for him because he's worth it. Okay? But he's not available. Right? So, Trevor Rogers, I don't know, Brandon. That's a good question. I don't know if they're going to pursue a starting pitcher, but I know that they're actively pursuing relief. So, and they have to bring into, and then it also depends on too when Luis Hill comes back and Ryan Yarbrough come back. Do either one of them go to the rotation? Bullpen, one of each, both to the bullpen. We don't know. Is Luis Hill going to be the long relief guy coming back from an injury in the bullpen on the righty side, and is Yarbrough going to be the long relief guy on the lefty side? Because I initially thought it was going to be Fernando Cruz long relief because of his ability to throw multiple innings sometimes, but he keeps getting hurt now, right? So that's not the key. And again, I love Luke Weaver, but Luke Weaver does not have the track record in his career that Devin Williams has. Okay, there's a reason why. Luke Weaver was phenomenal last year. He's not as good this year, right? He came back to earth a little bit. He's still good, but look what he did last night. He didn't have it. So Luis Hill has the stuff to be a long relief guy. There's a lot of questions. And the problem too right now is Brendan Donovan's not available right now, Jorge. He's the only guy that I would overpay for. Yeah, well, Lombard's not ready either. People keep saying bring up go down, send down Volpe and replace him with Lombard. Lombard's not even hacking it in Double A. Okay, he needs a time to adapt. Spencer Jones was murdering Double A. That's why he was promoted to Triple A. So Double A is one of the hardest levels in the minors. Yeah, and he's going to need an adjustment period. And I wouldn't give it to him. So Caleb Ferguson, yeah, I mean, there are guys. Look, there are guys that are pitching well in Pittsburgh. The guys that are pitching well in Colorado that I would love to get, but are they going to be made available? I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, Lombard's not ready, and I don't want to throw him to the wolves when he's not ready, just because people don't like Volpe. That's not a smart decision. That's basically an emotional tantrum based on bad information. No, thank you. Right? Well, exactly. Nobody at AAA too, George. That's right. So, yeah. Like Lombard, I mean, I still think he could be a late call up next year, but 2027 is more the more realistic timeline for me. Yeah. John Duran, Brandon. I already put out John Duran from the Twins. Yeah, he's a guy. He's got years of control. He's one of the more dominant relievers. If you're talking about John Duran, the closer for the Twins, Brandon, I talked about him over the last couple of weeks, actually. Um, could it be a multiplayer trade? Like, can you get him and the guy Willie Castro, who might be a table setter at the top of the lineup, right, with speed? So, or could you get, I don't know, could you get Ryan McMahon and Jake Bird from the Rockies? That will cost more, right? Or Xavier Edwards from the Marlins. And can you get Ronnie Enriquez with him, relieved with a bunch of controllable years, or Andrew Nardi, relieved with a bunch of controllable years? Multiple positions, right? And then you get a guy like Xavier Edwards, or you get a guy like one of these guys. It gives the opportunity to give Anthony Volpe a break. And if you want to send him down, then you have somebody who can step in to replace him, who's at a major league level, right? So, can he fix Camilo Doval? Is a good question. I don't know. I mean, where is he now, Jake? And Goldie's offense has come back down to earth. Yeah, he's hitting the ball, but he's coming back down to earth. Now, last year he had a really slow start and a really strong finish. This year he had a really strong start. We'll see what kind of finish he has, Paul Goldschmidt. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But again, this is where we can use some depth right now. And losing Oswaldo Cabrera sucks. Nothing we can do about it. Yeah, well, the Rockies, yeah, exactly. They generally don't move players at the deadline, even though they should, right? That's just there. That's their. I mean, maybe it changes this year, but somebody's going to have to blow their doors off with an offer. Doval might be with the Giants. Yeah. And we also have, a lot of our top prospects are in the lower levels of the system. Thankfully, we have some upper level prospects now, like Cam Schlittler, and on the higher levels of the system. Well, this is the thing. It's a seller's market. So, meaning there's more buyers than sellers. Meaning the sellers can wait, raise the prices, and create a bidding war between the buyers. So they have all the leverage right now, the sellers. So they have all the leverage. They're going to jack the prices up and get somebody to make a desperate overpay at the end. And, it's their right to do this. Cashman does it. Every GM does it. But yeah, I'll be live July 31st too, for probably 6 to 8 hours. We'll be bringing this intel in as it comes in, because July 31st is usually pretty nuts. So, well, the good thing about McMahon, Jack, is he's not on an affordable contract, but he's trending towards his 6th consecutive year with 20-plus home runs at their base. That's good consistency. So I like the consistency there. He's a pretty solid defender, too. I think the Giants need it. I have a feeling the Giants are going to try and add a pitcher at the deadline to complement um, Devers. And I think that's probably going to be the biggest trade leading into the deadline. I don't know if there's going to be a trade that's going to be bigger than that, but the guys that are available. But you never know. Somebody could become available at the last minute. Somebody can make a phone call and say, "Whoa, that crazy offer! Yeah, okay, I'll do that." This happens on a regular basis. So, and you know, well, what new hitting coach murders, bro? What new hitting coach? They're still in the top third of almost every offensive category, with the exception of stolen bases. And the fact that, I mean, they scored 5 yesterday. The bullpen gave up 8 runs in 3 innings. So I can't put that on the hitting coach. I just can't do that. I don't think the Yankees are going to take on Arenado's full contract. I'm confident when I say they're close to 0 chance of doing that. Who's the hitting coach, Murder? Who's available? That would be a better option that we know. Yeah, I mean, they definitely have to add to beat Houston and Detroit. Houston and Detroit have some of the best records, especially in the last month or two. Yeah, yeah. Who are you thinking, Graham? Are you thinking about? Are you thinking Peralta from the Brewers or somebody like that? He's one of them, and yes, yeah, he's heads and shoulders above everybody else offensively, and he'd be that way on every single team except for the Dodgers. He'd be on kind of somewhat similar footing with Shohei Ohtani. Peralta from the Brewers, but what's it going to cost? Is the key. He's got this year, he's got next year under control too. Before he's a free agent, what's it going to cost to get a Peralta? Oh, I know you have Graham. I know he's a good-looking pitcher, man. I remember him on only pitching opening day against the Yankees. But Luis Hill could be the rotation upgrade, and Cam Schlittler could be the reinforcement to complement him, which would maybe shift the Yankees' motivations to attacking the bullpen. Add whatever they can to the bullpen, right? Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. Will they trade Munson? It's a great question. And this is the problem right now. Like, we don't know what team's going to make who available and so on and so forth. And so, as much as a lot of folks want, Cashman just go out and trade for people, 2 teams have to be part of this. The other team has to make the guy available. So, other than that, what are you supposed to do? Continue. JT, just hang in there, man. Breathe. Remember, this is why I come here and try to keep level-headed here and try to bring perspective. Instead of just going out there and having rants and tantrums every day when you don't need to, right? This is a long season. Yeah. You might. But will they trade Rice for Peralta? Is my question. I don't know. If they do trade Rice, then one that would suck because I really like Rice, but that to me opens up first base for somebody like Spencer Jones, right? They did give him a first base glove last year. I don't know how much he got an opportunity to practice it, but that opens up first base for him, especially if Goldschmidt doesn't come back. That way you can keep him and Dominguez in the lineup at the same time. This is something I talked about for probably a year and a half as a way of getting Jones and Dominguez in the lineup together. Because the fact is, there's not even a comparison in the world between the two of them in the outfield. Jones is far superior to Dominguez in the outfield. It's not even a discussion worth having. Belly could be, and if you look, here's the other question too. If Belly opts back in, does he transition to first base for the year? If he opts out, do the Yankees give him a qualifying offer, which would be essentially less than what the opt-in contract would be for 2026 anyway? Do they give him a QO, him rejecting, go sign a bigger contract, and they get something in return, right? So Dominguez is having a decent season, yeah. But remember, if we're going to call Volpe a bust on a constant basis, and with that hype they gave, we gotta keep the same standard for Dominguez too. Okay, he's good, but he's not a superstar like people say he is constantly. Let the kid grow and develop. Just same thing applies to Volpe. Same thing applies to Rice. It does feel like Judge is about to go off. Yeah, I agree. Would I trade Rice for Peralta? If you can do 1-for-1, maybe, but only unless, I mean, like trading for Peralta doesn't help the bullpen. Helps the rotation. And how do you manage that when Hill comes back? Does Hill go directly to the bullpen is the question, right? So, where's the Flash? What's good, brother? What is good, my man? Yeah, Volpe him. He's essentially projected to go about a 3 or 4 WAR, 20 home runs, maybe 80 ribbies. There's not a ton of shortstops in the league who do more than that. So you're right about league average. Is right. Right? Yeah. Well, Torres couldn't do it here, so good for him for doing it in Detroit. Morning, franchise. What's good, man? The rotation is a strength, and the bullpen is the crutch right now, unfortunately. The rotation is their strength. Well, that's the thing too, Jack. I mean, this is one of the $1 million questions, right? Do you trade Rice for a starter? Is it worth trading Rice for a starter? Rice has 5 years of control after this year. Peralta's got just next year, and then he'll probably be darn expensive. And you're not going to get him for just Rice anyway. You're going to have to add to Rice. And who do you give with Rice to get a Peralta? Especially when you have Hill coming back. And that's one of the – there's like legs of questions here. Is the preferred move to let Hill be the trade deadline acquisition for the rotation? Or do you bump him to the bullpen? Right? Yeah, Polsky. I mean, I think everybody's going to try and trade for Paul Skeens, but even though the Pirates should make him available because they would get a ransom for the guy, I know they won't. So, for defense, yeah. I mean, Jazz at second, I think, makes Volpe better at short more than Jazz at third makes Volpe better at short. Right? Got to have a more natural fitting third baseman there. Period. I think the pieces have to fall in place. They have to complement each other. They really, really do. Mm-hmm. And again, if you get an IKF or you get a Brian Hayes, most likely they're going to come here and play third base, making it easier for them to move Jazz to his more natural second base position. Right? So, everybody's farm is going to have to be empty for Paul Skeens. You're going to have to give 5 of your top 10 prospects, and 3 of those have to be in the top 100. Right? There's no two ways about it, unfortunately. Well, yeah, if you get Peralta, then Hill to the pen makes a more logical move at that point. But, well, yeah. Yeah, I'm not giving Spencer Jones for Merrill Kelly or Zach Gallen. Like, no. People are proposing that too. Like, what are you, nuts? Like, what are we talking about here? No. I mean, fortunately for the Yankees, they have a deep pipeline of catchers. So, but I would love to keep Rice if we could. Especially since we don't know what the heck's going on with Austin Wells right now. But if I'm them, put him on the IL, please. Make it retroactive to a couple days before. Get somebody up here so that we at least have somebody on the bench who can actually play the game and can come in if they need someone to come in late in the middle of the game. We don't have it right now. We have 2 wasted spots. Grisham can't play. Wells can't play. And neither one of them is on the IL. Right? I don't know. Well, the problem with D-Rob is he's going to need a 4 to 6 week ramp up period to get game ready. He could be in great shape, but it doesn't make him game ready, right? Yeah, I like JC Escarra, but he's also developing. This is his first, for his first run in the majors, so he's got to continue to develop. Yeah, you get him on the IL and make it retroactive, so that way you at least have somebody here, right, who can play. Yeah, D-Rob is only money, no prospects. This is true, but he does nothing for the Yankees for the next 6 weeks, and we need immediate help now. Like if I would sign D-Rob, I would store him for the postseason, right? That's what I would do. I'm surprised he's not signed. I'm surprised JD Martinez hasn't been signed yet. What the hell is going on? But D-Rob also wanted $15 million, and there's no way he's going to get $15 million, especially for half a season. Are you nuts? Beater, I mean, he's an option too. I think he needs to cut down on his walk rate a little bit. That's one of the problems we've had with our relievers. They're walking way too many freaking guys. And with the 3 batter minimum, if you walk 2 guys, you're leaving the next guy putting him at a disadvantage already. If he gets up a hit and then he scored 2 runs, then it's a shit show, right? So I don't know. Can vote play? I don't know. It's a good question. I think he's probably more suitable at second because of his range, but I don't know. Yeah, man. D-Rob is proven in the postseason. He's got immaculate control of the strike zone. He knows New York, right? So he's a guy I would just store him, sign him into minor league deal, whatever you sign him to, and get him ready for playoffs. But the Yankees need 2 arms right now, right? And we need 2 guys on the bench who can actually come in and play. Put Wells on the IL, please. Put Grisham on the IL, please. And get them off 26 and get 2 guys on the 26 who can help the team. Do I think that? I'm open to it, but as long as it doesn't block George Lombard. And I have a feeling they're going to wait because this kid, Rock Riggio, is killing the ball too in Double A. I don't know. But I like Jazz. He brings a lot of athleticism and flair to this team. But I think if you're going to extend them, he's got to just stay at second base. Finnegan, yeah, he's another good one. He's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, just like Ryan Helsley. But we've talked about him as well. But I would love to get a guy with controllable years beyond this year because Weaver and Devin Williams are both going to be free agents at the end of the year. There's no guarantee the Yankees get one or both of them back. So I want to have somebody who's guaranteed to come back here too. I'm not opposed to a rental, but I think a rental and somebody with controllable years is a better idea. Jazz, Judge, Belly. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, and the roster needs some improvement. And keep in mind, not everybody wants to sign here. Not everyone wants to be traded here. So he has to work with that too. And that applies to any GM. Yeah, Weaver is returning back to Earth. Yeah. He was superhuman for a little while, then back down to Earth. Right? Yeah, it could be. I mean, I don't know. It could be the prelim. I don't think they could re-sign Grisham. I don't. Not with how good it's going to be. Then I don't think they're going to re-sign Grisham with Jones nearby and Everson Pereira nearby and Jason Dominguez. I doubt it. Now Lombard is nowhere near ready to be called up. He's struggling in Double A. We're not going to call him up to the majors. That could be detrimental to his development. Yeah, Grisham is going to get a decent deal after this season. Probably multiple year deal. But the only guy I would give a qualifying offer to as bad would be Cody Bellinger if he opts out. because he would be opting out under the assumption that he would get a bigger deal. But again, like I said, the contract that he's currently on is bigger than the qualifying offer. That's why if you gave him a qualifying offer, you'd be paying him less than he made in 2026. And I'm fine with that. If you gave Grisham a qualifying offer, it'd be $15 million more than he made this year. I think that needs to be factored in. AJ, we'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping that the Yankees make moves. So I'll keep you updated. I'll definitely keep you all updated. I'm looking right now, nothing. So I want to get on here and just get a pulse of the room, gang. Hit the like button if you don't mind. I'll be back a little bit later. I got to do a little bit of work now, but I wanted to say good morning to all of you. And thank you for joining me as always. Appreciate all of you. You're the best. AJ, we do. Several moves at the deadline. Belly, I don't know if Belly got a qualifying offer. I don't know, Deron. That's a good question. If he did, then you can't give it to him. And if that's the case, if he opts out, I let him walk. I let him walk. Yeah, well, Knicks, they signed the big man yesterday. Now they got to get a head coach, man. Yeah. They might bench Volpe, but I don't know. We'll see. It's really not for lack of trying with Volpe. So it was with Torres, unfortunately. He got a QO. Okay, so you can't give him a QO then. So if he opts out, I let him walk. Let him and Grisham walk, and that's saving pretty much $30 million. He got a QO from the Cubs. Okay. I don't know. Yeah, if Hal lets Cashman operate, we'll see. We'll see. He's overruled Cashman before and recently too. But we'll see. Alvarez is not as. He wasn't. Can't really compare Alvarez to Pope. He wasn't that good, Alvarez, at all. No. But yeah, I don't know if Kyle Tucker is going to be an option either. The way he's going to cost. I'm right here. I'm right with you, Coach Carl. It's kicking me in the teeth. So yeah. But I'll be back in a little while. I'm actually going to go live on my running channel right now. And so I want to thank you all for coming on and joining me. And I'll be live during trade deadline pretty much the whole day. Yeah. July 31st. So get ready. We did break the tennis scale. We broke a lot of news last year, AJ. We broke a lot of news. Now, I'll say this before I leave. If Jones continues to perform well, then they don't need to sign Kyle Tucker. Not for $500-600 million. So, but I'll be live all day during the deadline. If anything else comes out, you'll get it here. That's my promise to you. You guys are the best. Have a great day. See you later.